Hi, today's lesson is on activity-based costing. So this centers on the overhead, which is one of our three product costs. So labor and material we can usually easily trace to our products, but overhead can be a little bit more difficult. Sometimes we use an overall rate for overhead, estimated overhead dollars divided by estimated dollars of labor or something like that, or we can use a separate rate for each department, or we can divide up our overhead areas into cost pools, and we call that activity-based costing. So Mercedes-Benz, for example, they use over 20,000 different overhead rates in their factories. Okay, so here's our steps. We're going to look at all the activities in our factories that help produce our product. Then we have to think about what causes or drives the cost. Okay, what makes it increase. Each activity, the dollars for that become a cost pool, and we need to find a rate for each cost pool. So we divide the estimated pool costs by some activity, whatever we call the driver. Okay. Then we have to divide our products. So for each product, count the number of activities, number of each type of activity that occur, multiply the number of activities times the rate, and we're going to add that cost to each product. So here's an example, and our example is, whoops, I started filling it out here. Whoops, that's not it. Here we go. Our example is QS 17.7 on page 759 of the book. So I'm just going to take a look at this. We've got 6 different overhead activities. These are all overhead, right? They're all occurring in the factory. They're not labor. They're not material. Separate things. So for example, we're just going to look at the first 2. Handling materials, we expect to pay $625,000 for 1,000 parts in stock. So we're saying more parts, more costs, right? Inspecting our products. Expected cost $900,000. We expect to have 1,500 batches. So every batch we think will increase the cost. So let's just stop there. So we have an activity, okay, and the activities could be for individual, they could be for a product, they could be for batch. Batches are one of the ways we can really allocate costs here. Or they could be for the product line or just for the facility. Okay, so let's go back here. And if we take a look at handling, we're estimating some cost, some activity. So our rate is going to equal our total cost divided by the total activity. So it looks like our rate is $6.25 per item. Okay? Inspecting is based on batches. So we're going to take a look at that. And our inspecting cost per batch will be $900,000 divided by 1,500 batches, so $600 per batch. All right. So we have a rate for each of our first 2 activity cost pools. So now we're going to apply them to our products. So let's go back to the problem, and we're going to go over to the next part of the problem, which is 16.9, and it looks as though our deluxe model and basic model, those are 2 products, and we're going to use 10,000 units on deluxe, 30,000 for basic. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to charge our deluxe model for 10,000 parts times 6 1/4, which we came up to be as our rate. So we're going to charge our deluxe model $62,500. In basic, we said we're going to have 30,000 parts on that times our rate of 6 1/4. So we're going to charge our basic model $187,500, right? Okay, let's take a look at inspecting. So this would be part of our overhead cost for those 2 products. So in inspecting, we had 20,000. Oops, oh, we did that. Parts, units, parts. Oops. Oh, batches. Here we go. Batches, 250. Oops, I did units. I hope that's okay. Let's make that first one units. So batches here, we've got 250 and 100 for the basic. Let's go back there to our spreadsheet and go with 250 and 100. So we've got a $600 rate for that. So we had, how many do we have again? We had 250 and 100, right? Okay. So we're going to go 250 batches times our $600 rate. It's 150,000. And we had 100, I believe, was that 100? 100 batches for our basic times our $600 rate. Whoops. And that is going to be $60,000. Okay, so these are going to be part of the overhead costs, and we have to do this for the other 4 items they mention as well. Okay, so that is the end of our activity-based cost lesson.